Welcome to the Hall of Fame Club podcast, now with Season 2 flavoring. Still your local source for the 2025 Philly season. And now your hosts, Chris, JV, and Keith.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, September 30th, 2025, and welcome to the 27th episode in the second season of the Hall of Fame Club podcast, brought to you by the Broken Bell Network. Tonight, the fellas will wrap up the regular season with some of their favorite moments, the Mets being the Mets. Red October is back, baby. And as always, we'll have some of your favorite segments with Stump the Fuzz and Dummy of the Week. All that and more, and probably be screwed up somewhere along the lines on tonight's episode of the Hall of Fame Club podcast. And we'd like to apologize. Some technical difficulties for coming on late tonight, folks. Thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for jumping back on with it. Yes, Danny. 9 p.m. Central. We are that's broken watches. Well, before we get started, guys, I want to hit on something. It's well known that I'm a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, and today marked 53 years since Roberto Clemente had his final regular season hit. And he did it with a double to right center field, which is par for the course for him. He was a great opposite field hitter, and it put him on number 3,000 for the year. Or for his career, and unfortunately, that would be his final regular season hit. As it's been well documented, he passed away in a plane crash on December 31st, 1972, taking supplies to Nicaragua after an earthquake, and trying to help the folks there. So he's one of those guys that, he means a lot to everybody, especially in Pittsburgh, Puerto Rico, and Latin players all over the place. He's considered to be the Latin players' Jackie Robinson. I watched a documentary on the History Channel that said when he broke into the league in 1955 with the Pirates, there was 5% of the league was Latin. Today, we're somewhere around 30%. So he's done a lot for the Latin ball players. It's definitely one of the most sought after awards or most loved awards given out each season by Major League Baseball.
It's like the Walter Payton of the NFL, the award. And it's always, it's, I think once you're kind of given it, like it most of those guys always kind of stay in it, right? They stay in it to like whatever foundation they've generally started, and they've gotten the Walter, or the Roberto Clemente Award. They've kind of like the Cole Hamels Foundation. He's a recipient. Like, he keeps everything going here. Shane Victorino keeps his thing going here. So like the guys that we've given it to over the years still have a name in the city, not just because obviously they were on a World Series team, but their foundations are still known. And so foundations that kind of started through this guy's, just spirit, right? What he stood for. And these guys have, sure, it comes with an award, but it's not about that. It's just the spirit of the game. And if you can have and provide, you do.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things where he learned, like the players today learn, like, oh yeah, I'm a major league player, I have to do this charity work. But then they start doing the foundations and they get involved enough to where they get nominated for the Clemente Award, and they realize how good it makes them feel as a person, and probably makes them a better ball player, and is able to help them stick around because it just fills that little bit of happiness inside of you that you're helping somebody.
Yeah.
Playing ball to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think being altruistic is overrated to a degree. Like, yeah, sure, you would love for everyone to do the right thing because it is the right thing to do, and regardless of how you feel about it, because it was the right thing to do. But if you get some sort of sense of reward for being who you are and doing those things with your name, for whatever reason, that's okay too. Like don't let like, oh well, I'm not going to do it because if I do it, I'm not doing it out of altruism. If you're doing it out of like, it makes you feel good, go for it. Just do the good thing. Yeah.
Yep. So
man, Ohtani just hit a home run.
Yeah. If I would have told you the Yankees were going to be in a wild card game in the beginning of the season, you would have said I was nuts, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about necessarily. I don't know. I think they would have. It wasn't that far of a stretch. I thought they would either win the AL East or be one of the wild card spots. I don't know if they necessarily. I don't know if I felt like they were going to be a bye team, like get the first round bye.
Yeah.
Which obviously they didn't. But if you would have said that was a little bit more unbelievable. But making the playoffs is not that crazy for the way that team is stacked. So,
well, speaking of making,
hold on, my turn.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had your whole thing to unload.
So, just want to give a shout out. So when we created this podcast in 2023 or 2022 in Cedar Point, Ohio Water Park, was it 23, Keith? Yeah, we created this podcast. Yeah, you weren't there. We know you weren't there.
I forgot we all had a thing for the intro of the show. I forgot mine. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. So we create this podcast, and we do it as a hobby. We're not looking to make money. Not really. If it happens, you meet new people. And we've had the luxury of meeting Danny and Alex from Quit Chasing, Sean Selby and his team from Corner Pub Sports. Chris and his team from Drunk Phil's Fans, and we got to obviously we were part of the Homers for Hope event back in July, and we were one of the sponsors. It's real cool seeing your name up on the board, but we didn't expect all that to really happen. And when you sit there and you like see these pages and you see everything else, and then you forget like why podcasting is a hobby. You do end up meeting people. You become friendly with people, and I want to give a shout out to Drunk Phil's Fan, and their team. One of their biggest fans, I guess you could say. The guy was. It sounds like he was just an all around great dude. His name was Scott, the Cowboy Cheville. I think I'm saying his name right. His nickname was the DPF Cowboy. So, it just shows you. There's a picture of him. He's in the. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Yeah, here it is. Where is it? Just drinking, having fun with a cowboy hat, a Drunk Phil's Fans t-shirt, and overalls. Which I don't have them. I don't have overalls yet, so I apologize to everybody who wants me to wear them. But he passed away tragically the other day. Sounds like it was a shock to everybody. So, our hearts go out to his family. I have a GoFundMe link I'll post in the comments, and we'll post on our page. But like I said, like they did their podcast last night. I don't know if you watched it. They pushed through, and like you joke around with people like, oh, you gotta do this, and we do this to get away from the real world. And sometimes the real world hits us and it sucks. So, shout out to Chris and his team for doing it. And, shout out to Scott's family. We'll post the GoFundMe link. But I just wanted to get that out. Like, you think you're not making a difference in anyone's life by doing a podcast, and then you become friends with these people. You hang out with these people, so it's, I'm going to have a garage beer for the Cowboy.
So yeah, I'm not doing my thing. That's fine. That's okay. Whatsoever. Maybe we should do a little more show prep, I think. Or I don't know. You can save that for the end, bro. I don't know.
No, you had to get
because
it out.
I was about to get into like, I don't know what religion people are, and I'm not going to presume, and I don't want to do that. And this might sway people from turning off and not listening now, and I get it. But what I'm about to probably say is like, hey, whatever you follow, just, know that this coming month that people need to start observing Croctober. It starts tomorrow. Croctober is important, I think, as something we need to heal as a society. If you're not familiar with Croctober, that's when you rock out with your Crocs out. And
I don't care. I love our show. I don't care. Like, I love our show. There's no show prep needed. I love how we segued into everything, and the last segue is Croctober. There's nothing better than that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I almost want to buy Crocs. I won't, but I almost want to.
You do have a pair. You own Hey Dudes. Hey Dudes are a Croc a company. Jay, you own a pair of Hey Dudes?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
No Crocs,
his
though,
voice. Right? Nope.
Yeah. It's fine because the Hey Dudes, they don't look like the Crocs. They're hideous. Like, they're just ugly.
Yeah, I never claimed them to be pretty. You know that. At this point, it's just now whatever it's become. But there are Crocs that you guys know I've owned that you guys like have questioned. You're like, why aren't you wearing Crocs? And I'm like, these are 100% Crocs. So if you shout out in the chat if you're following along, just Croctober is coming up. Well, what are your thoughts on it? If you think you can't tolerate it, Tyler has never owned a pair of Crocs, which is kind of a shock. He's in his 20s. I'm shocked his mom hasn't thrown one on him and just told him to run free. But that's a shock. I think Danny would probably be a Croc guy if I'm judging correctly on that. Yeah. So if you're listening, chime in and we'll get your comments up here. This is true, Danny. It is the official shoe of Idiocracy. And the reason it was put in the movie is because they were like, this shoe is so stupid, only idiots would wear it, and we shall showcase it. And that's what essentially is the truth of the story of how Crocs got into it. And the company was so young at the time, they were like, yeah, any exposure, whether we're a joke or not, is good exposure. So, yeah, it is. That is correct. President Hector Camacho approves. Let's get into something way more, I think, fun, if you will. Here we go. If you haven't seen it already, we are gonna watch the 2 minutes of this. If at any time you guys want me to stop it, just to make sure the volumes are, let's bring up the volume, make sure we're good on that. If it's too loud, let me know. But yeah, this is New York hosts. This is what's his name?
It doesn't matter his name.
To something. Anyway, this is what they're saying in New York right now. Now, this is one of the reasons we might have a problem with, sports talk radio, and this is definitely sports talk radio, but they now all stream it live.
Well, wait, I think I actually agree with these guys, but unless it's a different clip, but go.
No, it's the same clip, but I want to kind of like talk about.
All right, we can break it down.
Yeah. We're going to break this one down.
We'll do the Daniel Tosh breakdown.
Yeah, let's do this.
For the Mets to be able to go to, of all places, Miami, and have that team eliminate them. They didn't get eliminated by the Brewers. They didn't get eliminated by the Dodgers or the Padres. They got eliminated by an under 500 team. And the other thing that bothers me is Met fans, and Gary, Keith, and Ron, too, could be included in this, criticizing the Marlins for celebrating the win. And they were taking pictures in front of the dugout. Dude, that was their World Series because they have the lowest payroll in baseball. You don't think that's a chance for a team like the Marlins to flex? They are worthless. The players know it. They've got no chance to win.
I want to correct that. That's not true. They are a welfare team of baseball. They're actually worth less than worthless. They are held up by all of MLB's, top tier teams, like, all of their first, top 5. So I just want to say, just a correction. The Marlins are worse than what he is actually saying right now. I need him to, this is not salt on the wound, but they are more than worthless.
They've got literally the lowest payroll in baseball. They've been handed a gift of relevancy on the final weekend. You don't think they're going to relish the chance to beat the team that's got the second highest payroll in baseball? Give me a break. You don't have a chance to complain when you blow it the way they did. You take it. You take it. You get smacked in the face and you take it. You don't defend yourself. This team is not worth defending. We're a worthless piece of garbage organization right now. Hopefully we'll get up from it. Hopefully they'll make the right decisions. But stop complaining about the Marlins. Stop complaining about the Reds. Stop thinking you're better than you actually are. Stop worrying about the Yankees and worry about yourself. Own the town, my ass. How about owning a above 500 record and making the playoffs with the second highest payroll in baseball? Look in the mirror. The words Yankees or Marlins or baseball or Manfred or anything coming out of your mouth other than we suck, I don't want to hear it. So shut your mouth. That's what ticks me off.
You think he's upset?
I don't know. I'm sensing he might have an issue here. This is obviously very, very passionate. He does go on to say, he does say a little bit more about who he's complaining about, right? So he was very specific on who he called out there. Definitely the broadcasting team called them straight out by the name their mama gave them. But then he also says there is a feeling here.
Those are the creeps. Oh, well, how come the tiebreaker is head-to-head? We should be playing. Stop. We wouldn't deserve it. You didn't deserve to make the playoffs because you couldn't beat the Marlins. One more time.
All right. He goes on to say the fans that he talks to, his friends, his family, they're all... Sorry. It started playing in the background.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I'm about to be like,
dude, they got into that. But to say that there is he's wrong there, I'm not disagreeing. Like, yeah, you can this happened to us last season in 2024. We still made the playoffs, right? But we had a total failure and collapse in the second half, maybe a little before London. We all know it happened in London. So we know what a collapse feels like. This is different because of the very thing he said. It is the second highest payroll in baseball. So, how long do Mets fans, how bad do they feel? And where do you go from here? How do you talk any more trash? Because I don't think you can afford to. Like, literally, like that's figuratively and literally, you can't afford to talk any more trash. You can't afford it.
Like, you went into the offseason, you signed you signed Juan Soto, did a huge deal. You signed Pete Alonso to whatever 1 year with the club option for a 2-year player option. And then you didn't build a pitching staff. You didn't build anything. And then you wonder, you can, and the Phillies proved it last year, you can only win so much with home runs and hits. And then once that starts to fade away, pitching is always going to win in the playoffs. It's going to be what it gets you in. Pete Alonso is walking.
Didn't he opt out already?
Yeah, if I was Pete, I would have made the announcement right there.
Rumors.
I saw something saying he was, or
rumors.
And you saw that with the Phillies and how that last year their collapse was. And let's be realistic. They didn't deserve to be in the playoffs, even if they beat the Marlins, because the Phillies had to beat the fucking Astros in 2022, who ended up winning the World Series. Mm-hmm. That's who they had to beat to get into the playoffs. They had to win 2 out of 3, and they won 2 out of 3. So I'm going to say it again for Chris and drunk Phillies fans. Fuck the Mets. Couldn't happen to a better fan base. You bunch of morons. You're a bunch of color announcers, whatever they are, their commentators are. I said they're the worst in baseball, and the Mets fans came right there. They're worst booth in baseball. How can you as a booth sit there and call the team that you're currently below in the standings overrated? I don't know. Again, I go back to these guys just get a job because of their name. They're not good at their job. I'll take Fransky. I'll take drunk ass Larry Anderson. As much as he annoys me, I'll take Tom McCarthy and I'll take Kruk over those three clowns any day of the week. They are literally the worst booth in baseball. And that's not saying much because I don't know about anybody else, but I don't know how you can screw that much more. I remember there was announcers last year for the A's who were calling home runs. They thought they were outs and they were out of the ballpark.
Yep.
They're still not the worst. Darling and whatever and Cohen and Hernandez and like stick to Seinfeld, bro. Stick to friggin' Seinfeld and stop talking baseball.
We could do a whole show on that.
Oh my God. We could do a whole show on how I could do a whole show on how the Mets, again, they haven't been relevant since Doc Gooden was doing coke. They haven't been. It's not. I'm not making that up. I'm not like it's a legit thing. Like they haven't won a World Series since 1986. Like if I did a Flyers podcast and people made fun of me because the Flyers haven't won a Stanley Cup since they wore leather helmets, I can't argue that with you. They didn't. they haven't. It's been 50 years.
I always laugh at the leather helmets. That's always like
it's a running gag.
I can't believe that was like, oh, this is safe. This is what you had. All right, let's get into it.
And some goalies didn't wear masks for like 20 years.
Yeah. And players who didn't need helmets, they were like, man, I'm grandfathered in.
And that's a guy you want to, and I'll never fight a hockey player because their mentality is completely different than mine.
Wasn't Craig McTavish one of the last in Philly?
Did not wear a helmet? Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. We're short. We're not short on time, but we still have our other two segments. I want to make sure we get into that, but we do have the 2025 season recap. They were a powerhouse this year, so let's just kind of get at it. They the National League East Division champion. They do have the 2 seed. They are on a first round bye. They did get an overall season record of 96-66 with a .593 win percentage. Here's some of the highlights I'm gonna point out, and then we can kind of get into the nitty gritty of the plays.
Can I just say it doesn't sound like a lot? Like they were only 30 games over 500, and it's ridiculous that they won 96 games.
Well, yeah.
Like, how the fuck does this team lose 66 games? They suck.
They went on the road.
The road, right? And so that's what we're going to talk. The road,
40 on the road. Like,
yeah, you're. This is where we're going to get into like maybe their kryptonite. Does it translate? And that's one of our talking points. But it doesn't sound like a lot, but this does sound like a lot. They were 13 games over the Mets to take the division. So the NL East, which was kind of on the horizon of looking like some sort of phenom a few years ago in 2022, is starting to shed its kind of. They're not back. They're not back at all as a good division, and there was kind of rumors of it and mumblings of it. But let's look at these splits, which I think tells the bigger story and the big comparison from last year. The first half, they went 55-39. The second half of the year, they went 41-27. So they actually had a way better second half than they did in the first half. So that is clearly the difference maker in some of our confidence levels and them going into the playoffs. What do you feel, guys, is as far as the like the difference in the splits here and last year? What is the key difference maker? Is it the pitching? Is it only the pitching, Fuzz? Is there other sauce that went in there? What makes that difference happen that they fell off the cliff last year?
The bullpen. Other than the hitting, but the bullpen was horrendous. Like Matt Strahm and I wanted to say Emilio Estevez. Whoever that closer was is
Charlie Sheen.
Carlos Estevez. They couldn't throw strikes, and when they
Sheen Estevez.
and when they did, it just went down the middle of the plate. And
No.
it just
That's the characters. That's the best friend from Jimmy Neutron, Sheen Estevez, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't.
I need someone to fact check me on that. I think Sheen Estevez is the kid's name in Jimmy Neutron. Why do I know that?
Doesn't know his kid's classroom number.
No, I don't.
Yeah, Sheen Estevez, played by Jeffrey Garcia.
Yeah, he's the one who's like, I want my llama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him. Oh, geez.
The joke about Carlos Estevez was that, when you get his parents' name and the English it translates into Charlie Sheen.
Is that how it is? Is that where he gets the stage name, Sheen?
Yeah, he gets it from his dad, Martin.
Oh.
So, and Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen are brothers. That was
You're right.
That was the running joke.
You're right. He's right. Sheen Estevez is the tall, weird, lanky one. Carl is the one who wants his llama. Thanks, Tyler. Damn.
This is a conversation that I don't know why we're having because I have no idea what we're talking about.
Come on, you have to know this. And we said this was going to go sideways.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the show prep talk.
I'm going to push back on you a little bit, Chris, because I want to talk about the beefier lineup we have in the 7, 8, 9 spots kind of producing overall. Where last year, I don't feel like we confidently had that. I think it was always like, what's going to happen if our front guys don't produce? And we know what happened last year when they went offers in the playoff series.
Well, what did we say all offseason? They can't roll the same team out. They can't. You can't roll the same team out.
They kind of did for a second.
They did, and then they were like, oh shit, Johan Rojas still can't hit.
Yeah.
Max Kepler, we didn't know, and then they made the trade for Harrison Bader. Brandon Marsh batted .095 in April, and he had the highest batting average since he came off the IL. That whenever it was from now, which is bananas considering Trey Turner won the batting title.
I mean, it took the last game to get it, but the man won the batting title.
Don't care. He won the batting title.
And like I said, the only reason it took him the last game to get it is because he wasn't playing for the 2 previous weeks for 3. From that. So some of those standouts are obviously, we're going to say kudos to Trey Turner, earned his flowers this season. I think we can really say that I wouldn't call it a redemption arc in any sense of the sort. I don't think anyone was down on Turner this year.
Oh, they were down on his power. Everybody's ripping. He needs more home runs. He hasn't hit a home run at Citizens Bank until August or whatever it was.
Yeah, and then
they were on him about his power, but he was still producing.
Yeah, then you don't watch baseball. Yeah, then you don't watch baseball. And so I kind of like when people are looking for a certain element of the game, and this kind of goes with the Eagles too. And this is not a knock to AJ Brown. I'm not throwing shade. I really don't even have an opinion on that whole tweet situation and stuff. But like, I think there is something to say is like, if you're looking at stats hard enough that you see past the final scoreboard, I don't think you understand what it is to be a part of a team sport.
Right.
And so I don't think I think AJ is just having fun to a degree. I really do. I think he is trolling because why not? I really do. I think he's good at it. And I respect it. That all of that being said, Trey is a big boy. He makes a lot of money, and he did what he needed to do. 180 hits. Let's go. Let's effing go, dude.
Yeah. Like you said, I don't care inch or a mile. Win the damn game.
Yeah.
I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you drop down. Like one of my favorite things this year was Harper dropping down a bunt down that third baseline.
Yeah.
And just because he's like, you know what, you guys want to all shift over, play just barely in the rules, watch this. Dropped it. And then like everybody just looks at the ball and they're like, what do we do with this? We don't know how to handle Harper doing this.
Yeah. And it was just all key pieces, right, Chris? Like it's everyone doing their part in the lineup, I think was the difference. I know once again you said the pitching, but let's Kyle Schwarber having a record year, 56 home runs, 132 RBIs.
Like, he couldn't fucking hit 3 more. No, fuck Kyle Schwarber. He stinks.
He is obviously, I think, most RBIs in the National League this year. He really filled the spot that he needed to fill. He's going to earn his money. Good for him. I think he will stay here, and that is good for us. But I'm gonna note the little guys. Marsh coming into his own. Bader, who came on, kind of sparking that. Kepler finding a swing. Even Bohm. Let me give it to Bohm finding the length of the ball that he was getting at. So those are all little things that I think we were missing and not we had in isolation last year. Guys were ticking off at separate times, and right now they're firing all cylinders. That being said, do you guys think they can keep this momentum going for this playoff with the 3-pitcher rotation that's coming up?
I mean, they're gonna have to.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're not getting into postseason. We're not going to postseason. Talk to me what your thoughts on the Walker Buehler acquisition. How instrumental and key was that this season?
Well, it was important because Taiwan started to fall off at the end, but it's you knowing that you have that weapon of Walker Buehler, if you need him in a 7-game series to come in and pitch 4 innings, and if you need to use Taiwan, you can use him for 2 innings.
Are
you talking situational, right?
Yeah.
Going the situational baseball if need be, keeping those starters in the bullpen area like Nola and Taiwan there?
Not in the 7-game series. 7-game series, you're gonna have to go 4.
No, I'm talking in the 5 games.
No, because the way the playoffs are this year, you're going to be able to start 2 pitchers twice. So they'll definitely, if they get in, it'll be in a bullpen game.
Yeah. All right, let's take.
But it is nice to have that option.
It's there.
It's like there could be worse things than that. Going out there and be like, oh, you come out and one of the starters just is getting shot, or just, I'm not wishing this upon anybody. Takes a line drive off the leg. And now you can bring in, you got to take out Ranger Suarez, and you're going to bring Aaron Nola in. Any other team, you bring in a guy from the bullpen, you're like, oh, we got this. We can start lighting them up. Meanwhile, the Phillies bring in a guy that could throw a no-hitter from that point on. He's just that good. And that option and that fear of putting it into the other teams that you can't let up. This team won't let up. And the pitching is there to keep the pressure on the whole game.
Is there a highlight from you guys that it could be any particular moment from this season that stood out to you? Any walk-offs, anything that you were like, oh, damn?
I don't have a walk-off. I do have a moment.
I have a walk-off. I have a cool walk-off.
I have a walk-off. No, I don't have a walk-off. I have the Phillies falling into a 4-0 hole in Game 4 of the 4-game series with the Mets, and then Jesus Luzardo retiring the next 22 in a row. And Mets fans and they're fucking out of their mind.
Innings 2 through 9 was a true clinic. It was whoa.
And we were all like, son of a bitch. I remember being at the pool like, this sucks. I'm like, all right, it's still cool. We got this lead, and then, it just
that was a claw from behind. Cool victory to watch that.
They had a 7-game lead going into that series.
Yep.
And then they ended with an 11-game lead.
Mm-hmm.
And the magic number dropped 8.
Yeah. They essentially clinched the East for him at that point.
More or less. It was kind of like when I knew then and there that the Mets were done.
But yeah, if we took the series, they were done.
And if you think about it, one game. All the Mets needed to do was win one game. They were up 4-0 in the first inning. All they needed to do was win one game.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't do it when it mattered the most. Congratulations, Mets fans. 2 weeks earlier, your team swept the Phillies in a meaningless series. Yes, does it suck that we've lost like 11 in a row at Citi Field? But guess where we don't have to go next week? Right. Eat a dick, Mets fans. We're not going to Citi Field. If I'm going to drive by there, I'm going to throw eggs and piss on your Citi Field and go get my Halloween costume in there. That's what I'm doing since the spirit of Halloween is set up in there now. But that was my favorite moment.
Okay. My favorite moment this year was actually it was back in I know it was the Red Sox. I think it was back in July. Was the Edmundo Sosa catcher's interference walk-off. That to me was by far the wildest thing I had ever seen at the end to end a game, right? To end a game. Not in a game, but just to be like, wait, that's it? It's just that's it? It's over? I mean, and I think that was like the second time in that series or even that game that was it that game or series?
It was the game. No, It was the game because then it happened the next day.
Okay, right. That was the first occurrence to end it, and then it happened again. And that's, that really highlights the frame jobs that these catchers are trying to really pull. I was talking to my dad about this the other day, and we were kind of having a conversation that some of these catchers actually play themselves out of a real strike because of their motion, and I would presume isn't going to give it to you because he just assumes, oh, that was out, you framed it that way.
There's I can't remember which team he played for now. I saw it earlier in the season when the Phillies were playing them, and they showed this ridiculous stat that there's their primary catcher and framing and how many strikes he got off of frames. It was ridiculous. Or that they had just pulled in.
Yeah.
So like for saying that umpires are, you moved the glove, that couldn't have been a strike. I mean, the way we've seen umpires go downhill over the last few years, it's like they're definitely calling the glove and where it ends, not where the catcher moved it. No, it's the catcher pulled it back in and the glove stopped there. It must have been a strike.
Can't wait for ABS, bro. It's happening. It is happening.
I hate that it's happening, but again, I blame the umpires themselves for it. So.
Yeah. So any highlights for this year for you, JV, that were standout?
Yeah. Mine was Aaron Nola when he hit the IL and completely ruined any chance I had of my 17-win prediction. That was memorable.
I don't think that's when it blew your prediction. It was when he hit the IL. I think way before that, mathematically, I would be willing to bet you money, cash money. You can go back and check the day he hit the IL, and you are already mathematically out of your prediction. Now, I didn't hit my prediction.
That was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Icing on the cake, as they say.
Yep, I didn't hit my prediction. So, Chris definitely didn't hit his. Fuzz, right? You were just yours was bad. Mine was the closest. But at the Price is Right rules, I went over, so I still lost.
So since you talked highlights, real quick, I'm gonna play a 6-second clip of a highlight.
We can put up any clip we want and just talk about it, and it's like a reaction video, and we won't get dinged. That's great.
So we're reacting to.
Yeah, we're reacting to this. This is what we're doing.
All right.
Yeah. Oh God, so cool. Oh God, that was you and your big head. You can't miss it. You go back and show your big head. Your kid's not.
Where you at? I couldn't tell what's in the background around your head.
Definitely, that's Chase, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, his head was just as big as the frame. You couldn't even tell what was behind him. If you didn't know it started out at a ballpark, him and his son's head blocking the camera view, you would have. Yeah, that's.
I hate you all. The
Yeah.
best part about that was the camera guy was like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna film you and your son. Do you think you could act like cheering and everything? Like fucking Victorino just hit a triple. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because that was the night we clinched the East. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can cheer, act like I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, he's asking one of 46,000 people there going absolutely bonkers to fake act like you're cheering. No, everyone else around me is going to cheer. I'm just going to. That's awesome.
Hold on, since we brought it up, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez
Yeah.
for Men at Work. Golf clap.
All right. Let me. I should have definitely had this. I apologize. Should have had this queued up. Let me get this in here,
I
guys.
honestly thought your walk off that you were talking about was you're still going to be on Casty's junk when he walked off on Father's Day. With
No.
the Grand Slam.
No. Let's do this. Let's do Stump the Fuzz. I want to make sure that we get definitely this in before we get in our dummy of the year, because it is the wrap up, or dummies or idiots or whomever you would like. But if you don't know, this is going to be the segment. It's called Stump the Fuzz. We're going to play the intro, and then what I'll do is I'll explain the rules for you if you haven't been here before. It's not that deep. Play along if you can or will or want. Here we go. Hall of Fame Club presents Stump the Fuzz. Let me do this. I've been thinking about this, right? I've been doing Stump the Fuzz now for, I don't know. How long have we been doing this segment?
Well, this is 27 episodes in, so I would say we've done it for at least 25.
Right.
I tried to do the first 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So
let's recap that.
I'll give you 20. I'll give you 20 or 21.
So let's take people. Let's take people back about this bit, because I think doing this bit is actually it's important to talk about it. The creation of it and where it's gone to.
Oh God.
We started off with
the best questions.
We started off with Stump the Fuzz. It's a trivia bit. It's kind of like Stump the Fans, and not really, but I don't even know. Right.
The hammer, beat the hammer. The Fuzz will beat you.
I don't know. I think he just Googles everything in front of him. I just whatever. So here's my point. It started out pretty crummy.
That's what she
said. It started out pretty crummy. I think the mark was missed. JV started it out and was like, I'm going to ask what college majors were and things like that of that nature. So then Fuzz is like, yo, do you think maybe you can ask what not like someone's second wife's name was and where their kids went to college? I was like, okay, we can put this together. So I started putting it together. And then I started getting our very own Tyler. Tyler, welcome to the show, bro.
What is up, Philly Fanatics?
If you don't know, and if you should know, Tyler is our Broken Bell Network hype man. He does all of the pregame, postgame hype videos. Tyler has actually taken over and started doing the questions for the last the last month, right, Tyler?
Month or so, yeah, sounds about right.
They're bangers. Like, I absolutely love them. But I feel like Tyler has, I think you do really think a couple things really well. You go with theming, right? The past week, whatever the Phillies are going through, you pick a theme, you run with it. It's cool. Okay. The second thing you do is you have a tone. Like you definitely are writing them to kind of like you have like a vibe. And I thought, what better way? And going forward is Tyler is going to be doing Stump the Fuzz with you.
Here we go.
Tyler, you want to tell the rules, or do we just want to say F it and go for it?
Well, it's going to be different than how you normally do it because we normally do one strike and you're out. But we're going to go through all three this week, and we're going to ask Fuzz our questions. And if you're watching live, play along in the comments. Yeah, that's all the rules.
Maybe next year we'll get a sponsor and we'll do giveaways.
Absolutely, and maybe I'll go a beer down to the ground. I don't know, but either way, in light of our playoffs, can you guys hear me fine?
Yep.
Great. In light of our playoffs coming up, we have one question from each of the past 3 Phillies runs to the playoffs.
Oh God.
So we're just gonna go in order.
I was drunk in 2022, so I might not remember it.
Well, in 2022, maybe the biggest moment of that playoffs, Bryce Harper hit the coined home run, the swing of his life. Who else scored on that swing?
JT Realmuto.
Ding, ding, ding. Got number 1.
I was there.
For real?
Sure was. I almost fell into the stands cheering. The big guy.
That's all. That's awesome.
The big guy with the tattoos, Dunphy, caught me.
And
I
game
fell on top.
Who'd you go to the game with?
Melissa.
That's right. That's right.
You couldn't go for some reason.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, 1 for 1. So number 2. In the clinching game of the NLDS in 2023, Matt Strahm got the save in the 9th inning, recording all 3 outs. However, he did not start the 9th. What pitcher did? I can give you multiple choice if you want. It won't be very helpful.
What is it? Game 5?
Yeah, I guess that would have been 5 games, I think, right? Yeah. No. Did they clinch it? Well, whatever the clinching game was, I think that was game 4, right?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I'm holding up 4 fingers like the listeners who are doing this on.
Okay.
For your Spotify fans.
Yeah, for all the Spotifyers out there, I apologize.
All right, so either way, it was 4 games because you're right. We did beat the bullshit out of the Braves. All right. So what are you can give me
All right. Choice. So multiple choice you have Jose Alvarado, Craig Kimbrell, or Gregory Soto.
Kimbrell was starting to fall off. I'll go with Mets legend Gregory Soto.
That's the answer. Came into the 8th, got 1 out, and then let up a hit and a walk in the 9th.
Okay. I didn't. Okay. Yeah, because I don't think
that is correct.
Did Kimbrell pitch that? I don't know. I think he pitched like game 1 and game 2, and I think he was unavailable for game 4. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
he did game 2 and 3.
Right, that's right. And then they had to make him available.
Correct.
I wish they would have left him in Atlanta when they went to Arizona, but that's another that's a time for another story.
After his 200, was it his 200th career?
It was like 400.
Oh, 400, right. Yeah. Duh.
Mets legend Gregory Soto. R.I.P. Mets. Anyway, go to the next one.
Fuck that.
2 for 2. 2 for 2. And all right. Well, we'll do number 3. All right. So moving on to the 2024 NLDS. Jeff Hoffman was the Phillies pitcher of record for 3 of the 4 games. Who was the other pitcher to record a decision?
Record a decision?
Yeah.
All right. So
Jeff Hoffman was 1 and 2.
He was 1 and 2. I want to say I want to say it was what's his name, but it wasn't. Give me a second.
Once you remember why and how he got this decision, you're going to kick yourself in the ass. Is that accurate?
Mm,
No, I don't know. See, I
It-
don't.
one of the rare highlights in the NL in the 2024 NLDS.
See, I don't know. I'm gonna say Estevez when he gave up the grand slam to Lindor, but I don't know if he came in with the bases loaded because in the run he only gets charged for the one run. The other three go to, but Aaron Nola got smacked around too. Oh,
Go with the gut.
I'm gonna say Aaron Nola.
That is
3 for 3.
yeah. Go with the gut. It was Nola. And
Is that-
and now you remember the situation where he got beat up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Got majorly. It was one of like, hey, was it the hitting or was it Nola type situation?
No, we thought was
He
gonna
got
come
3
in and
for
shut-
3. I think that deserves the bonus round.
That unlocks the bonus question.
Let's go
Jesus
for it.
fucking
Oh
Christ.
shit.
Mhm.
Oh snap!
All right. So this is based off of this year. Tell me what was or will be more. The number of times in 2025 that Cody Clemens walked as a Philly, or the number of games the Mets will play in the playoffs.
So all it takes is Clemens walking once.
What's higher?
What's higher? Wow.
That is the question. What is higher?
Did Clemens walk as a Philly?
This is a 50-50 Fuzz. You can't screw this up.
What do you think?
I had to catch my breath first.
You can't fuck this up, bro. This is
There's only one right
50-50.
answer.
Right.
Oh,
We'll get the answer next week.
I'm gonna say Cody Clemens walked one time as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Fuck the Mets. That is correct.
I think I'm having a heart attack. I think I'm having a stroke.
Let's
That you
let's hit
threw in
this.
a fuck the Mets and praised Cody Clemens. It's the greatest fucking ending
Hall
to
of
the
Fame
season
Club
of the Hall of Fame.
Oh. That was amazing. Thank you very much, Ty. Ty, we are about to do Dummy of the Year. Do you got one? Do you want to? Have you prepped for that?
Well, all I was thinking was so.
Oh wait,
When
if you got one and you're staying, let's hit this.
Yeah.
I think everything just came back to my body from that.
Yeah, are you good? You're back. You had Jesus go through you right there. Sounded like. Ty, who is your Dummy of the Year? It could be this past week, but who do you got for us?
Dummy of the year goes to felt unfortunate at the time, but I was actually at game one when the Phillies got swept in Citi Field and leaving. We were, of course, getting harassed by Mets fans all over the place. So all the Mets fans who harassed us and all the Mets fans this year, you are the Dummy of the year.
Yeah, that's fairly accurate. I'm gonna piggyback, jump right off of it, and go. dummy of the year is the Mets broadcasting booth. I don't, first of all, low class right there with the whole, who cares? They get to celebrate. They won a game. Your team didn't. They can take a picture. It doesn't matter. This is America. They can do whatever they want in that field. Now, if you don't want to accommodate them and be classy like other teams, putting up their logos for the team celebrations, for clinching certain things on their visiting fields, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. That's cool. You don't have to do that. But just shut the fuck up. Like, right? You could do that. You can shut the fuck up because you look like petty bitches. So you're the dummies of the year.
I mean, I would say the Mets front office is a dummy of the year, but I don't want them to change their ways. So I don't really have a dummy of the year. So I would just like to thank you for the Mets for being the Mets and continuing to Met and to make my hobby fun as I go to cut this clip, and I'm going to make fun of the Mets fans again, the Mets broadcasters again. I do
Grimace. Grimace is he's complicit in all this bullshit too.
Fuck Grimace. I would like to give a shout out to everybody that is a Phillies fan that is calling the Mets ticket office looking for fucking playoff tickets. Might be the greatest troll job in the history of sports. Like, it's almost like Vince McMahon wrote this shit up.
Hell yeah.
But I don't really have a dumb. I mean, if I really had to go with a dummy of the year, I'd have to go. I'll piggyback off of JV's statement. Is the umpires union for not making the job better? Like,
so mad. Look at him. Look at him.
You don't want electronic balls and strikes being called, but then you want to sit there and be Angel Hernandez and sue the Major League Baseball when the tape shows you fucking suck. Like, not just suck, and not by inches. Not by inches. Bad. But go ahead.
I will say that's one stat I would like to see next year is the rate of overturns that were obvious missed.
But so here's
the ball that goes straight down the middle and it's in the dead heart of it and he calls it a ball, or the one that's 3 inches outside and everybody could see that it was never a strike to begin with and they call it a strike. I want to see the egregious
But that's the thing.
and the stats.
Like the umpires,
because those close ones, I'll give them a little bit of play on the close ones. Like some of these ones they showed this year that would be strikes under the ABS that were called a ball or vice versa, and they're just barely nicking.
It's like that.
Barely missing the strike zone in that box. Okay, I could give the umpires that one. It's the ones that are super egregious.
And that's the problem
is frustrating with.
And that's the problem is there's more of those egregious calls because it's happening more often. Like umpires generally do call a pretty decent game. Some umpires have their own strike zone. That's just the way baseball is. Now you have to adapt to it. But they were so bad and so egregious that, listen, when you get FanDuel and all them involved, shit changes.
Yeah.
So, but you go to your dummy of the year.
Yeah. Well, that was it, I think. I just want to say the players union, they just need to know in order to do any job well, you have to have 3 abilities. Seriously. This is like the keys to success in life. 3 abilities. You ready for them? They're your availability, they're your reliability, and they're your accountability. They're available. Got it all, Tyler? It's all there.
Good.
Like all right, dude, you now know
He just
how
updated
to,
his resume.
correct. You've got accountability, reliability, and availability. Now, the umpires union, they of course have the availability. It's a cake job. It's a very well-paying job on that level to call a child's game at the end of the day, balls and strikes and safe and out. Right.
So you
So
can't just live off of winning the home run derby and then disappear.
yes. So exactly that. And so because of what it is, the availability is a non-factor. They're going to show up for their job and make that cheddar, right? We're talking about now your reliability in your position and now your accountability in that position. And they don't address either one of those two needs whatsoever. So if you're not going to answer for questions on why you suck, well, we're going to make you better at your job. And then that might turn up the reliability we get from you. Or we just might find that we like the other system better and we just go with that full time and you're out of a real job and we don't care about your availability. We'll get, Betsy the robot from the Jetsons to take care of your job. I don't know. Why'd I go with her?
I don't know.
Rosie the robot. Why did I say Betsy?
I think you were trying to go to a cow, and that's usually what people go with is Betsy.
Yeah, a cow. Yeah, because she had that really weird French-made apron, black and white thing on. Do you even know what we're talking about, Tyler? You know what the Jetsons are?
I've heard of the Jetsons.
Have heard of the Jetsons.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
It was the opposite of the Flintstones.
Correct. They were the Flintstones in space. Correct. Yes. There we go. That's wow. That is highly accurate. Well done. Jay, do you have any more about your dummy of the year? Why they are probably going to be your dummy of next year as well?
No, I mean, we covered it. They didn't do anything to make it better. You wanted to fight it. You wanted to say you didn't need it, but you didn't go out and make it better. So if you're not going to put the effort in, then we need to move on. It pains me, and it's going to pain me more as more and more technology comes into the game, because that was always one of my favorite things of baseball, is that every stadium is different. Every field is a little bit different. You have the human element that makes things a little bit different. What's a ball and a strike, or, if the ball was in the glove, or, if the tie went to the runner, that kind of stuff, like all those cliches of baseball that were based on the humans, and based on how they saw the game to be best. And now it's, I don't know, it's the start of it is going away from that. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. We do have coming up this week on the Broken Bell Network, of course, and always Tyler. Tyler will always be on Broken Bell Network until he's realizes he's better than us and decides to start his own channel. Tyler, can you hit us with the socials and everything that we have?
We run, of course, our Flagstaff page on Facebook, the Philly Podcast. We run a Broken Bell Facebook. We run a Broken Bell Twitter. We've got a TikTok going, and YouTube's going. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to put all the socials one day in here. We actually have also something else big coming up. We're not going to reveal it quite yet, but that is in the works of the Broken Bell Network and what is going down with that. I'm very excited for it. It's in, I guess I can reveal some of the things. It is in beta testing. We can say that, right?
Yep.
We are messing around with it. We are, we've got my very awesome, highly smart brother who just can talk to computers somehow. Every idea we kind of come up with, we just kind of throw at him, and he's just kind of implemented it within minutes, which is insane. I keep asking him, how are you doing this? He's like, I don't know. It's kind of like when someone's like, how do you understand algebra? I'm like, I don't know. I just I get it. Right. And so it's that kind of level, but I have no idea. But we all kind of dream things up during the day, and he's just got it out there by an hour later.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is happening. I won't say any more about that. We do have Philly Podcast tomorrow. We do have Northeast Philly Podcast on Thursday with a few special guests. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so it is going to be Northeast Philly. Yeah, so we're doing a Northeast Philly podcast on Thursday. Generally we do pop culture and all that, but we're doing a Phillies preview podcast, and we are going to have Sean Selby from Corner Pub Sports on. Who, if you haven't checked out their stuff is hilarious.
Yeah.
They're on every other Friday at 8 o'clock, and they go for 3 hours. God bless them. But I mean, they're sitting there. I mean, they're all together and they're drinking. So that's like the three of us being together, us two drinking, and Keith smoking cigars. We're also gonna have John Hunter from the Frozen Pod. Frozen Rope podcast. He'll be on. He's actually interviewed a few people. He's interviewed Dallas Braden. I don't know if you guys remember Dallas Braden.
Yeah,
he was an old Oakland Athletics pitcher.
Yeah, I think we need a bug. I think we need a bug John to start up. He used to have a really good MLB podcast. Like he talked about the entire league. He knows his stuff. If you guys think I ever get nerdy with stats or numbers, John
he's the one who brought me into the Statcast there, into Fangraphs and all that other
stuff. Yeah, John knows it. John knows his shit.
So I brought him. So he's coming on. He's like I said, he's interviewed Dallas Braden. He's interviewed Jarrett, the tribal chief Carabas. I don't know how you say his name is. Go on his. He fucks with Philly, so I fuck with him. Like, and I was talking to John today, and I was like, I could sit down and have a conversation with this guy Jarrett and just talk about baseball for hours. I think we all could. So we're gonna have him on, and maybe Chris from Drunk Phil's Fans. Other than it's a playoff preview, so you're gonna get their predictions, let them talk. We'll be there. Keith will be the monitor, but we're gonna get their evaluations about the Phillies and their chances of advancing to their World Series.
Yep. And so I guess this is really a perfect time. You do have the topics that we are going to get into on Thursday. Do you want to do a preview of them there? I have them. I sent them to you. They should be on your phone.
Yeah, I got them. They're actually in a Google Doc. I'm going to pull them up.